back and working with Sebastian again. I have the little bit longer lead rope on him, and I wanted to work on the backup and the stay. So I'm going to start adding in that pre-cue of me kind of just like moving my hand toward my fingers, like right here, and then I'll go ahead and use the target and add the target in. But I'm adding that cue before and then asking with the target. I'm also saying back, which he does know already because I've been doing it the same way. I've been pairing it the same way. I'll say back and then use the target, or I'll say back as soon as he's starting to take a step back. So I'm just kind of adding in that new cue and then clicking and reinforcing. So that time I asked him to go back. Here's my cue again. Unfortunately, the fence is kind of in the way, and there he is giving it to me. And then I'm going to feed back a little bit just to kind of remind him of that behavior that I want. So that looks pretty good for adding a different cue to the back behavior. And now, since I have that longer lead rope on, I do want to work on the stay. So here's my cue. I'm going to say whoa and take a step back, and I touch him on the forehead. Re-cue every time. Now I can take 2 steps because you've seen the process here, which wasn't perfect, but you can kind of see how I trained it with like the half step, the whole step, 2 steps. So now he's kind of at the point where he's understanding he's supposed to stay here, and then I can kind of build up the amount of steps as I go throughout this lesson. But another key here is if you want to add a different cue, like with this lead rope on the ground, that could be another pre-cue. So you just have to be solid with it. Like there, I'm adding it as a pre-cue. So I'm putting the rope on the ground, then using his old cue, then leaving, and he's staying really nicely. So kind of depending on what you want to teach and what cues you want, you got to be really specific with it. So like here, I'm specifically cueing with that rope and then giving the old cue and then backing up. He kind of stepped out of it there. I'm going to pause and then re-cue and try again. Very good. There, that was better. So he didn't try to follow me that time. He thought about it, but he didn't. So being very consistent with what you want. You don't want to just leave that rope on the ground if that's something you want to use as a cue in the future, because then the horse isn't going to quite get it. And you can see that process with Castor as well, because I do the same thing with him, and I teach him to stand when I put the lead rope on the ground, and he catches on pretty quickly as well. So same thing here. Here I'm going a few more steps away, and he's really starting to get it. I mean, he was really inconsistent at first. We still have a step here or there, but much, much better. Could have been a lot faster if I would have kept using that mat for a little bit longer, but I think he's getting it here. So we're really having a breakthrough here where he's understanding when I give him the cue, he is to stay there until I come and ask him to move or do something else. So this is really looking quite nice. And having the longer rope is a nice next step in the process.